Hey, it's Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, May 26th. So today we have the moon still in Aries, and we're going to get roughly the whole day out of this Aries energy. The moon will be going void, of course, around 11:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be locking into Taurus energy early morning on the 27th. We do have 9 different aspects here today, and 7 of them involve the moon. Right out of the gate, we have Mars, fresh in its place of power in Aries energy, very much giving us this push, this surge, this desire, this passion to take action, to move forward. Yes, this is what's triggering our aggression, our excitement, our straightforwardness, if you will. And Mars at this point is going to semi-square, create a little bit of a tension with Uranus, who is in Taurus. So Uranian energy kind of shakes us up, disrupts things, could shock us, gives us aha moments. Here's the thing though, Mars and Uranus in this way, they're not really getting along, and here's why. Mars wants to make up for lost time. He hasn't been in his place of power for 2 years. He just spent the better part of the last 4 to 6 weeks in Piscean energy, so very passive aggressive, very kind of detached from reality, not able to take action and make moves the way that he would like. Now he's all full of piss and vinegar, ready to go, wants to hit the ground running, and unfortunately for us, we're still in a retrograde, which means that our actions, our energy outside of us is definitely stunted. We have to slow the roll. We have a little bit more reflection and review to do before we can go ahead and start building new aspects, aggressively pursuing new passions and desires. So Mars and Uranus at this particular time could create a lot of anxiety, a lot of restlessness, a lot of nervousness even, because Uranian energy in Taurus, we are having this conflict where, yeah, we need to see this wake up and shake up in our physical realm, our physical circumstances, our routines, relationships, and money matters, but we're not able to do anything about it as of yet. So this is going to create a little bit of tension. This Uranian energy is a little bit rebellious as well. We just want freedom to pursue our passions, our desires, which Mars is all down for. However, like I said, we are in a retrograde, so we are kind of pumping the brakes and not able to move as fast as we would like. The moon in Aries is going to semi-square the sun. Now, this is also creating a little bit of tension point because Mars, ruler of this moon in Aries, already is a little bit perturbed, already a little bit aggressive and a little bit angry and frustrated from not being able to move as fast as we would like. The moon in Aries definitely has us fired up. We just want to take the lead. We want to initiate new experiences. We're done with past emotions, stunting our growth and holding us back. And the semi-square with the sun, who is in Gemini, is very divided. Why? Well, because Gemini energy kind of positions us between 2 different choices, 2 different options, 2 different decisions, 2 different paths. This extreme polarization is meant for us to debate it out in order for us to find a middle ground. The sun in Gemini energy is our ego self, our identity self. We want to have an open mind. We want to kind of have these social interactions. We want to learn. We want to share. We want to decide. But there's not a whole lot of that going on. And because the Mars and Aries energy is so fresh, so fiery, we're a little bit perturbed. We're definitely a little bit frustrated. A couple of days ago, I had given the analogy what fire and air does. You know, that campfire, too much oxygen. We're going to light the whole damn place on fire. Not enough oxygen, which is our ideas at this point. We are going to burn ourselves out. We need to head a steady balance here. And right now, stability is just not part of the game. The moon is going to bump into the true node in not the nicest way. And let me just say that this is likely going to manifest as a trigger, as an activation in our external realms. We don't have control over this. What I will say will likely happen is that we are seeing A, where we want to move forward and we just can't. B, where a situation is popping off where we have to really act as the observer and not allow our ego to pop off and finish these people. And C, we are likely going to have this extreme frustration, this extreme anger that we aren't able to control certain situations in the way that we would like. And of course, the true node is trying to show us our path, our soul's mission, our soul's purpose, trying to get us on the right path. And right now, we are just not on it. Why? Because again, we're pumping the brakes. We have all this energy coming from this Aries energy, right? We have Venus there, Mars there, the moon there, Jupiter there, Chiron, and Eris, if we're talking about asteroids. But anyways, we have all of this Aries energy, all of this fire in the sky, and we're not able to do what we want with it as of yet, which is really throwing a wrench into our plans, really stunting our growth, really kind of pissing us off in a lot of ways because there's situations popping off outside of us that we just want to clean up so we can move on, and we just can't quite get there. The moon will be bumping into Neptune in not the nicest way. And Neptune, of course, rules over our dreams, our creativity, our higher self, our soul contracts. And the shadow part to this is that we're overwhelmed, we're hypersensitive, we want to escape, we just don't want to deal with reality in the way that it is. We detach, we look to numb, we look to run, we look to hide. The moon in Aries bumping into Neptune in this way will likely play off of the earlier aspect that we feel like we have no control over, that kind of provokes that fiery flame, that spark, that anger, that aggression within us. And right now we're having a hard time reminding ourselves of the great grand vision, of the dream, of the goal that we're fighting so hard for. There is a disconnect with our emotions. There is a disconnect with our intuition. Because of all this Aries energy, we're very rooted into our physical experience right now. It does rule over the egoic identity. And right now, we are so caught up in our physical circumstances and so not in control of them that there's a little bit of frustration coming up because we're unable to align with our intuition. Our ego is definitely getting the little bit of the power struggle here. And we're not able to remind ourselves of the life lesson, of the intuitional insight, of the vision, of the dream. It never feels good when we are cut off from the higher realms of intelligence. We have the moon sextiling with Saturn, the Lord of Karma. Now, a sextile is a good energy. This is a positive thing, especially in the little bit of a tension point that we've been having here today. The moon in Aries sextiling with Saturn does kind of get us back down to reality to see where it is that we feel stuck, where it is we feel held back, where it is we feel restricted in life. Of course, Saturn is an Aquarian energy trying to give us that great big grand vision of the future, the kind of the game plan that we have to focus on. Yes, we need that big great grand picture to keep us excited, keep us focused, keep us inspired and motivated, but we have to break that down into manageable pieces. What we have in control over in the here and now. How are we going to break free from some of the things that we've already identified that's not working for us, that we don't like anymore, the roles, the responsibilities, the karmic contracts that we've outgrown, that we just don't want to deal with. And we have to take control in the here and now to make steps to build the bridge that's going to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we want to be. The moon in Aries sextiling with Saturn is definitely firing us up to have the motivation to get down to earth, to roll up our sleeves, to take control over the elements that we actually have control over in order to make a plan on how it is that we're going to cut the cord with some of these things that we're no longer aligned with, and how we are going to strengthen our connection, our want, need, and desire to build new systems, structures, and foundations in our lives. Mercury is going to bump into Venus in not the nicest way. Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, ruler over information and communication and how it is that we express ourselves, is retrograde, is in Taurus energy that Venus naturally rules over. And Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, relationships, money, self-worth, and joy, is over here in Aries energy, just not tolerating things from the past. Here's the thing though, Mercury being retrograde in Taurus energy has us focused on the past. In fact, we have to rewind to mid-April and kind of review all that has transpired. And many of us have seen relationships fall apart, have seen people's true colors, have seen where it is that the universe is asking us to detach, disconnect from certain relationships, certain identities, certain roles and responsibilities in our life. So this situation, first of all, is happening outside of our control. Secondly, happening with a personal relationship, a very close personal relationship. Third, will likely involve some information coming in that we don't like and having an opportunity to speak up, to speak out, to truly express ourselves, which likely will not be a light and fluffy conversation. Why? Because we've had about enough. We are on rewind, reflecting, redoing, revisiting, revising all the things that we probably should have said at the beginning that we didn't have the balls to actually say. Venus is over here in Aries, just done with past scenarios, past situations, especially where we've given our power away. She wants to be aggressive in cutting the cord and implementing those boundaries so that she doesn't get sucked back into old relationship dynamics that she's worked so hard to grow out of. So we are going to see a little bit of a situation pop off here. The moon is going to go ahead and bump into Mercury straight after. Actually, we get a couple hours in between these two, but we're still riding a very emotional high, fired up, kind of ticked off, a little bit aggressive. And the moon bumping into Mercury in this way is definitely going to continue to put us in a position where we have to get our heart and head on the same page. It's a very hard task to do right now. And we do have to kind of communicate within ourselves first and foremost, get a little bit clear on what it is that we're thinking and feeling, but also try to continue to communicate and express ourselves with confidence, with clarity in this relationship that has popped off, that really has us upset at this particular point. The moon then bumps into, teams up with Venus, who, like I said, is in Aries energy. There's a lot of Aries energy going on. So the moon conjunct Venus in this way is likely going to give us a lot of clarity on what it is that we actually want, need, and desire for our emotional safety and security when it comes to this particular relationship dynamic. And although that sounds good, clarity always sounds like a positive thing, it may come from very, very disturbing information or facts. Now, we're still riding off of the earlier situations popping off that we didn't have control over. The moon at this point bumping into Venus is putting us in a position to clearly redefine what it is that we want for ourselves. This comes back down to the relationship that we have with ourselves, the self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, self-value we've been working on. Of course, we upped our ante, we leveled up, we created and implemented some boundaries in our life, and this is why we have certain relationships popping off. Now, the moon bumping into Venus in this way is going to make us highly emotional. Our heart chakras are definitely going to be popping off. If you haven't listened to the ascension forecast for the week, I'm going to recommend you do that. And we know from this fiery energy that we're looking to burn some bridges. We're looking to cut the cord with the past. We're looking to just be done with certain situations that seem awfully repetitive, that seem to continue to test us, that seem to continue to put us in a position where we're constantly having to fight and advocate for ourselves. So the last aspect that we have taking place here today is with the moon squaring Pluto. A square is a tension point, does not feel good. What comes out of a tension point is great change, great transformation. So we got that working for us. The moon in Aries going head to head in the boxing ring with Pluto, who is retrograde in Capricorn. We have the god of the underworld, the true ruler of the great transformation that needs to take place within us, in our psyche, in our heart space, before we're going to see dramatic changes in our exterior realm, is retrograde, helping us reflect back on the past, where we've given our power away, where we've let our let's say, self-destructive, self-sabotaging behaviors ruin a good thing, where it is that we continuously fail to stand in our power and advocate for ourselves. So kind of writing off the situation of the day and having this, a relationship drama kind of come to the surface, this is really going to put us in a very fiery mood, because of course the moon is in Aries, but we're in a conflict with ourselves, with our old selves, because the new self hasn't quite anchored in yet. We're still fighting tooth and nail to make our new selves, our new ego, our new identity, our new version, our new level up be the demanding force in the run of our day today. So right now, this particular aspect between the moon and Pluto is taking us back and really frustrating the F out of us, for us to review all the times that we failed ourselves, all the times that we gave our power away to someone else, all the times that we played the co-starring role in the movie that was us. And this isn't meant to kind of aggravate us further. What it's meant to do is light a fire underneath our ass and inspire us to act as the catalyst and motivation for us to put our foot down and not get sucked back into old relationship dynamics, old patterns, old behaviors, where we technically just stand back and allow other people to rule our roost. So what we know to be true is that anytime we go head to head with Pluto, a great transformation is going to take place. Likely because we're tired of the drama, we're tired of the pain, we're tired of the anger, we're tired of the suffering. That is a driving force. Sometimes we need to feel that uncomfortability, that anger and frustration boil our blood before many of us are willing to actually make the changes and the transformations that are necessary. So we are setting ourselves up for a great change that needs to happen in our perspective, in our psyche, in our heart space. First and foremost, we got to get those two on the same page before we're going to be able to actively take a stand, take action, make a move in our physical realms to kind of let an MFer know where it is that they stand, because we know where we have to stand so that we do not repeat past patterns and behaviors.